Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Jasper at Get Paid for Your Pad with another vlog. Today, I'm going to be talking about a topic that was suggested by one of the viewers. And so, I'm going to talk about Airbnb and the cryptocurrency world. There's a new platform that just launched. So, I'm going to talk all about that. But first, I want to show you a couple things. Last night I went to a Halloween party, which was really fun. A bunch of me and my friends. They went. I was dressed up as a captain, as you could have seen in last night's video, and it was a fun party. There was a competition and a dance off and all that kind of stuff. And then this morning I had a pretty interesting experience as well, as I went to, I think it's probably the only Starbucks in the world where you have to make a reservation. This Starbucks is on the 35th floor of the Taipei 101 Tower, so it has a really nice view. It also has a minimum spend of about $13. So that was an interesting experience. I've never seen that before. And afterwards, I went to a theme park. Now, I always loved going to roller coaster parks, and so I found out that there is one about an hour away from Taipei. So I jumped in an Uber, which is here in Taipei. It's actually quite affordable, even if it's an hour away. And it was super fun. Took a bunch of rides. It was a kind of a Halloween themed experience because there was all these dudes walking around with blood on their face and all sorts of scary stuff. But yeah, it was super fun. But let's get into the topic of today. So, Airbnb and the cryptocurrency. Well, Brian Chesky, even back in 2014, on Twitter, asked his followers, like, what do you want to see as a new feature on Airbnb? And a lot of people suggested that they wanted to be able to pay with Bitcoin. And 2016, again, Brian Chesky did one of his Twitter things where he tweeted that he was going to be behind his computer for like an hour and people could bring in suggestions. And again, within the top 5 suggestions, Bitcoin was one of the features that was requested, and Airbnb actually acted on that because they bought a startup, or well, I guess it was an acqui-hire, which means that they didn't actually buy the company, but they basically just took the team and maybe paid off the investors. I don't know. But in any case, it showed that Airbnb is definitely developing some sort of functionality where people can pay for their stays on Airbnb with Bitcoins. But as of yet, that had not been implemented. And so there's a couple guys, I think they're actually from Holland, who started their own platform. It's called Cryptocribs, and Cribs is CRIBS.com. And it's basically an Airbnb for the crypto world. So you can pay with Bitcoin or you can pay with Ethereum. There's also some blockchain technology in the backend. Like all the information is stored on the blockchain. So it's like the reviews and the transactions, all that kind of stuff. As far as the platform itself, it's pretty much a clone of Airbnb, minus the branding. The way it works, I had a quick look. The sign-up process and the way that you get paid as a host. It's the day after check-in, so it's very similar to Airbnb. And one thing that I couldn't find was the service fees. So I don't know how much they charge, but I did have a look as well to see if they have any users, and it doesn't seem they're getting very much traction yet, because I could only find a couple listings. For example, New York, I could only find one listing, and I think the only listing I could find that actually has one review, there was only one. So it seems like it's not really getting a lot of traction yet, but who knows in the future. I mean, the cryptocurrency world is exploding. Everybody wants to have Bitcoins. Everybody wants to have these other coins. There's hundreds of coins. There's ICOs. I mean, people are pumping millions and millions of dollars into companies based on a white paper, with nothing to show for. I mean, it's pretty crazy, but that's the reality that we live in today. It seems like the hype in the ICOs has gone away a little bit, in the sense that I think in the last year, a lot of people made like 10, 20, 30x on their investments in some of these ICOs, because the moment they start trading, they would just completely go through the roof. And so it seems like that has toned down a little bit, but there's still dozens of ICOs popping up all over the place. And for those who don't know what an ICO is, it stands for initial coin offering. It's basically the equivalent of an IPO. So an IPO is when you go to the stock exchange and you sell shares to investors. But the difference between a regular IPO and an ICO is, other than the fact that an ICO it offers tokens that then can give you some sort of ownership in the company. It's not always the case though, but in any case, the big difference I think is that when you do an IPO, you have to have something to show for, right? You have to have at least like strong member growth, revenue growth. Sometimes even showing that the company is already very profitable, depending on the type of company and stuff. Now, what you saw back in 1999 in the internet, the dot-com bubble, that was where if you were to start something on the internet, you didn't have to have any revenue. All you need to show was that you had some growth in the number of people that signed up for your platform. And it seems like that's the case now with these ICOs, because companies are basically, they publish a white paper, which is basically a business model of a business plan. And then they hold some ICO, and people pour millions of dollars into it without actually, the companies that are raising all this money, they don't have anything to show for, really, most of the times. But just because they're in the blockchain business, they're in the cryptocurrency world, they're getting a lot of money. Now, in another video, I'll talk about one of these other platforms called Atlant.io. They just finished their ICO, and this is actually one of the few ICOs that I personally invested in. And Atlant is also aiming to become the Airbnb, the blockchain version of Airbnb, so to speak. But they go a little bit further than that, because other than becoming a peer-to-peer rental platform, they also want to develop the technology where people can actually sell their home or a percentage of their home via the blockchain, via the Atlant platform. So the idea is that it's kind of like an ICO for your house. So you're saying, hey, I have a house, it's bringing in X amount of money, and so I'm going to do a coin offering, and I'm going to offer X amount of coins, and everybody can buy these coins at a certain price. And then if you own some coins, then you're going to get a percentage of the revenue that's generated from the house. So that's actually an idea that really spiked my interest, because I think, if that's possible, then it certainly opens up a whole new massive group of people who don't really have access to the real estate market now, because they can't get a mortgage and they don't have enough capital. But now they could be just buying like 5% of somebody's house, right? So the threshold for people to invest in real estate becomes much lower with the use of that technology. So that's kind of what spiked my interest, and that's why I invested a small amount of money in Atlant. I do realize it's extremely speculative. Like, there's a very high chance that the company will never materialize, in my opinion. But still, I'm willing to take that gamble. So anyway, go check it out, Cryptocribs.com, if you're interested in blockchain and cryptocurrencies. Atlant.io, go check it out. And if you have any questions, I have no idea if people are interested in cryptocurrencies at all. But it's definitely a hot topic. So I figured I'd do one video about it to see what the response is. And if people are interested, I'm happy to talk more about it. And also, I've reached out to the founders of Cryptocribs and also the founders of Atlant. So hopefully I'll be able to get in touch with them to find out a little bit more about what these guys are up to, what they're planning and stuff. And, maybe even get those guys on the podcast, or, talk about it in this video log, depending on the response that I'll get from you guys. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll be back tomorrow with another one. So hope to see you then.